In the historic port city of Antwerp, Belgium's beating heart of trade, the day began with anticipation. Prime Minister Bart de Wever welcomed US Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, their mission to forge a stronger alliance against transnational drug crime. What unfolded was both ceremony and strategy, a carefully choreographed moment with deep geopolitical meaning. The arrival was marked by warm greetings and handshakes, joined briefly by the mayor of Antwerp, Els van Doesburg. Smiles for the cameras hid the gravity of the task at hand. Behind the photo ops lay a stark reality. Antwerp is not just a hub for global commerce, it is also Europe's cocaine gateway. Vast shipping lanes that fuel prosperity are the same routes cartels exploit to smuggle narcotics onto European streets. Inside the Port Authority, officials laid out maps of the harbour, a reminder of Antwerp's scale and vulnerability. With thousands of containers arriving daily, customs officers face a near impossible task. Cartels conceal drugs in shipments of fruit, timber, or scrap metal. For traffickers, Antwerp is the golden door to Europe. For authorities, it is the front line of a war. Noem was shown surveillance tools, scanners, and even sniffer dogs. These demonstrations were not just for show. They symbolized the technological and human fight that Europe and the United States now share. For Washington, this visit was about proving commitment. For Brussels, it was about gaining an ally strong enough to tilt the balance against organized crime. Then came the statements. Kristi Noem spoke first. She emphasized that security begins with data, sharing intelligence quickly and effectively with allies, and ensuring that shipping companies meet strict requirements to provide the information needed to keep people safe. Her words underscored America's insistence that prevention is better than cure, that ports are the first line of defense against criminal networks. She went further, framing the partnership not only in terms of trade and commerce, but also in the fight against terrorism and transnational criminal organizations. Noem described the talks as extremely productive, stressing that the United States and Belgium share a commitment to both prosperity and security. She called ports the critical first step in ensuring resilience against threats that cross borders daily. Prime Minister Bart de Wever responded with clear alignment. He praised the Trump administration's decision to take the lead in stepping up the fight against drug criminals across the Americas. For Belgium, he said, this is an opportunity to strengthen ties with the United States. He stressed the need for Europe to work more closely with Washington to crush the business model of organized crime, which thrives on exploiting weak links in international trade. Switching to French, de Wever went further. He argued that Europe's security standards developed at Antwerp and other major ports must not only be enforced across the continent, but also pushed onto countries of origin in Latin America and elsewhere. With American backing, he said, Belgium could extend these standards globally. Together, he added, they could pressure major shipping companies to tighten security measures. His message was simple. This battle cannot be won alone. The timing of this visit is no coincidence. Antwerp has become Europe's cocaine capital. Last year alone, Belgian customs intercepted nearly 120 tons of cocaine, much of it hidden in banana shipments from South America. Such seizures are victories, but they also expose the staggering scale of the problem. Every intercepted container represents many more that slip through. For Belgium, this is not just a law and order issue. It is a threat to national stability. Antwerp has seen grenade attacks and shootings linked to rival drug gangs. The violence has seeped into neighborhoods, shaking public confidence and exposing vulnerabilities in the state. For the United States, the stakes are equally high. The Trump administration has made a show of toughness on organized crime, aiming to protect communities at home while projecting strength abroad. This emphasis on intelligence sharing reflects a wider transatlantic agenda. Cartels operate as global businesses, agile and opportunistic. They exploit corrupt dock workers in South America, weak customs systems in West Africa, and loopholes in Europe. They launder billions, reinvesting profits into violence, intimidation, and political influence. By combining Belgian proximity to the European market with American intelligence reach, officials argue they can disrupt these networks before drugs hit the streets. Yet challenges remain. Europe's strict privacy laws often slow down the exchange of sensitive information. National jurisdictions sometimes clash, hampering coordinated responses. Meanwhile, Washington's focus is shaped by domestic politics and can shift with each administration. De Wever's repeated praise for Trump signals Belgium's calculation align with Washington now, while the US is willing to lead. At a broader level, this visit reflects a transformation in how governments see ports. No longer merely engines of trade, ports like Antwerp are now considered battlegrounds of security policy. Customs checks, container scans and canine patrols are as much tools of defence as border fences or fighter jets. Antwerp's cranes and warehouses are part of the front lines in a global war against crime. But will cooperation truly dismantle organised crime's business model? Critics argue that traffickers adapt quickly. Crackdowns in one port simply redirect shipments to another, from Antwerp to Rotterdam, Hamburg or smaller ports in southern Europe. Cartels invest heavily in corruption, ensuring that no matter how strong the defences in one country, another gateway remains open. Still, leaders present a united front. Kristi Noem insists that shared intelligence and strong partnerships can outpace criminal organisations. Bart de Wever believes that American involvement can globalise Europe's security standards. Both know the fight will be long, but both see political advantage in declaring resolve. This partnership also has symbolic weight. It comes at a time when transatlantic relations are under strain in other areas, from trade disputes to defence spending. By joining forces against drug crime, Belgium and the United States are reminding the world that common threats can still unite old allies. For Antwerp, the stakes are immediate and tangible. Every day, thousands of containers pass through its docks. Every day, customs officers face the task of separating legitimate trade from hidden poison. Every day, traffickers test the system's weaknesses. With American help, Belgian officials hope the balance will finally tip in their favour. For Washington, the message is equally pointed. The Trump administration wants to show that America is not retreating from the world stage, but extending its reach, standing shoulder to shoulder with allies, and defending not only US borders, but also global trade routes. From the port of Antwerp, the message was clear. Drug crime is no longer just a police matter. It is a geopolitical battleground. In this fight, Belgium and the United States are declaring themselves allies. The test now is whether words, agreements and security measures can outpace cartels that are faster, richer and more ruthless than ever before. The smiles, the handshakes and the speeches will fade from the headlines. What remains is the daily grind. Customs officers opening containers, intelligence agents tracking shipments, governments negotiating standards. The war on drugs has found a new front line in Europe's ports. And in Antwerp, leaders hope their partnership will send a signal loud enough to be heard across the Atlantic and deep into the jungles and cities where the trade begins.
Madam Secretary, good morning.
Wonderful.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
Chinese we keep it out. So everything is software to centralize the images so that we can do the analysis and then also that is Emma. That is our daughter. Yes. For the press, you know, you see the press, everybody loves Emma. Bravo jongen. Ja, best. Ja, bravo.
The great port city of Antwerp today. You see the logo on the screen, 2 nations.
And we will continue to build and partner with not just the Prime Minister, but also the Mayor and the ministers here to see what we can do to share data, to share security information, and to make sure we're dealing with shipping companies as well, that they meet requirements to give us information we need to keep our people safe. With an enhanced discussion today, it was extremely productive on ways that we can work together on to facilitate shipping and commerce and help our economies and continue to build on the relationship and friendship that our countries have always shared, but also how we can do more to fight terrorist organizations, transnational criminal organizations that are killing our people, that are poisoning our citizens and our countries, and ways that we can be more nimble and creative in addressing that on a day-to-day basis. We're here today because of our shared commitment to our people's security and our prosperity, and our ports are the critical first step to making sure that we're on good defense in that area.
The Trump administration is taking the lead in stepping up the fight against drug criminals, not only in the United States, but throughout the Americas. And this is very good news for us, because Belgium also wants to use this opportunity to strengthen security relations between our country and the United States. We discussed on many topics, and we think there is a lot of room for cooperation and improvement by working together. And I think Europe should focus a lot more on European cooperation on the one hand, and on cooperation with our friends in the United States in order to crush the business model of organized crime. We must do.
I think this administration can be an ally in enhancing security. That means the standards we have set here with the 3 major European ports, to impose them on other ports, firstly in Europe, that's our job. But with the help of the Americans, we could enforce these security standards in the countries of origin as well, and that could help tremendously. Together, we can also pressure the major shipping companies to strengthen their security measures, which could also help tremendously. So there is work to be done, but we can only do it together.
Donc il y a du boulot à faire, mais on ne peut que le faire ensemble.